I'm Otunba Dr. Femi Oke, the chairman of all farmers associations of Nigeria for the Southwest. As people do say, a journey of starts in a day. Some years back, immediately I finished from the university. I'm a villager, I'm a native guy, I'm a local person. So I always come to the village to spend my weekend after leaving school, or even after the school. And the major job for which we are doing here is farming, especially cassava. So, and I've been following my parents, other friends going to the farms. So it's inbuilt, it has been in me. So going to university, going to school doesn't really matter. So I came back and I discovered that I can still improve on this processing of this cassava. And as at that time, there was not much people in the venture by adding value. But for the purpose of my benefits of my going to school anyway, I started to add value. That is packaging. To package in 1 kg, 5 kg. So that was how I started. And the villagers were very happy. And you know, most of our people, they don't go to bank. Our parents are fond of leaving the cassava in the farm. And when they are about to pay school fees of their child, they always harvest and go to the farm. So I now discovered that they do call. Chief, I need so amount. I say, what is wrong with your cassava farm over there? And they do tell me, it's there now. Then I do tell them, go and sell it. They said, no, that's not the market day. So they always harvest during the market day, which they will process for them to sell. So they don't go to bank. So I now encourage them that says, okay, if you are leaving the produce in the farm, I can buy it too, to be added to my own. And that's why you are seeing most of the machines there. I have to go to IITA. They gave me some new breed of frying then. There was no any automation, it's still local. So I started buying from their own farms too, to be added to my own. Then that was how we started. And we started to package in 1 kg and 5 kg. And to God be the glory, the NEPC, Nigeria Export Promotion Council, they were doing some survey. So they came around, they saw me doing a good job, and that was how I was encouraged under AGOA. And I was fortunate to be part of the people that was being sponsored to go to US as at that time. So that was how I started some years back. And for the past 25 years now, I've been on the job. So it has been a very, very encouraging and very happy for me and my family. Well, we've tried a lot. As you know, AFAN is an advocacy. We are mouthpiece for the farmers because it's the umbrella body of the farmers in Nigeria. We speak for them to the government. We are not profit-oriented organizations at all, but it's an advocacy for them to say, okay, these are the things. Because you can't clap with one hand. There's no way you can work in agri in isolation. We need government support. And so far, we've been trying. Recently, not too long ago, we were the one that, in collaboration with Federal Ministry of Agri and Rural Development, we were able to bring some policies. And what are the policies are? Promoting, bringing the anchor borrower program. We set it up. We brought it to the notice of the federal government as at that time, when we have some GAF, that is General Assemblies of Farmers. We always organize it in collaboration with all the states. This is 36 states governors too, and Federal Ministry of Agriculture and other agencies too. And what will come out is, what are the new policies for the government to implement? So that was when they now come with agricultural policies too. They call it ATA, APC, and other interview there. So it has been a thing of joy for we farmers, especially in AFAN, that we were able to talk to the government that these are the right things that they should do, especially bringing the women program and the youth to be included in those policies, and it's now being implemented. And we now saw that government cannot do it alone if we didn't involve the CBN. And that was why you are now seeing CBN today taking over some of those things in those commodities, assisting them. Why? We need fund. And if a farmer could not get fund as the time he needed, he may not meet up of all his demand. So federal government now supports. They now bring in Central Bank of Nigeria, and that's why you are now seeing them supporting most of those commodities in the sectors by giving them fund. So it was all the work of AFAN. And I can remember vividly at the last General Assembly we had at Yaradua Center, the president himself could not be there. He was represented by his deputy, Professor Yemi Osinbajo, and he has to leave the podium and applaud our national president of what we have done so far at Yaradua Center in Abuja. So AFAN is doing a tremendously job as an advocacy to the farmer. And even recently, of where we are in this farm, there was a time we just discovered that we're having the cluster groups of farmers, especially the poultry and crops farmers, having them together in an area, which is where we are. And we have to talk to Appeal. Appeal is under World Bank projects, supported. And thank God, Lagos State is among the states that Appeal is under. It's just 5 states, and Lagos State was among. So we are very, very happy about that. And Appeal have to agree with us that hence we are having the cluster farmers around there. Then what are the needs? What are the things that we want? So we now told them we want road because of the problems we are having when they are carrying the eggs. The roads are slippery, it's not too fine, that it should be open and even tarred. Then making provisions of the rural electrification. And I can tell you, they've started about a week ago now. Though the journey started in a day, but we are very, very glad. And the farmers around, which you two can make some of your interview within that axis, are very, very happy to say a very big thank you to Appeal Project, especially in the state, which is being supported by World Bank. So it is part of the job of AFAN, which we have glamour for it, that we needed all these roads to be opened, and it's now been done. So far, we are doing well to our people because we want food to be more sufficient on the tables of every Nigerian. What we have seen so far now is insecurity. That insecurity has brought us backward. Not many of our farmers can visit their farm. Even in Lagos State, of which we are, about 3-4 years ago, during the former Governor Ambode, in this our axis, we discovered that some kidnappers are around. But thanks to them that they now made provisions of the security. So that insecurity has caused a lot, and it's making the price of every commodity now to rise. Think of how much we are selling the tin of Gary rice. I've never seen years where a cup of beans or a Congo of beans is higher than rice or even Gary. But go to the market today, you will see that they will tell you beans is 1,200, while rice is 800, 850 per cup. So it has never happened. But we want government to see to the area of this insecurity. If they could allow these local vigilante to be or these local all these state local police, it will really help, because we know the terrain of our farms, and we know the terrains of our community. So there's no where someone's live, and a stranger will come and he will tell you he know more better than the person living in that village. So, but we are not allowed to carry guns. We are not allowed, but they should approve local vigilante so that they can work in collaboration with the agencies, with the Nigerian police. So all those ones can now ease, because the people kidnapping, the people terrorizing us not to go to farm, they are not from heaven. They are our people. So it has caused a lot of damage to we farmers too. Many of us have to leave their farms. Look at the price of the feeds of where we feed our chicken. Everything is now going up. A crate of egg is almost 1,500 at the farm gate. So we are not happy too. But government should take more cognizance of this insecurity. It has caused a lot, and assist wood farmers in making provisions of loan, grants. That one should be in clause. Grants mostly is being needed, and most of the machines too, of which we are using, they have to introduce public-private partnership. Not many of us can afford all these machines. I can tell you, most of the people that are in crops, in the arable crops, hardly could they cultivate one hectare, except you want to eat that one alone. But if you are going into commercial, you can't, because you have to make provisions of bulldozer. And for an average bulldozer to come to your farm, you will not spend nothing less than 80,000 naira per day, and they will work, and they can't finish 1 hectare in a day, and you still have to buy diesel. So now tell me, how much are you going to make in that 1 hectare? So government need to come to our aid in this area. Let there be provisions of bulldozers to be given to all the local government, and they should work in collaboration with AFAN there. We know ourselves just like every other professionals. Accountants, lawyers, they have their own associations too, and they liaise with too. They should strengthen us. They shouldn't do any divide and rule between the farmers. We are all one. We know ourselves. So if government will now say, okay, this local government, we are now making provisions of so. We know ourselves. We will know when it is turn of Mr. A than B. So all those ones will now ease and bring the price of those commodities down. So I can say we still needed more collaboration with the government in making provisions for all those machines, opening more of the roads, which will ease, then assisting us in the areas of fund, which is the loan, no grant. Well, as regard that, we want government to open some farms. Most lands belong to communities, to the ballers in that community. Let the governor of every state, especially in the southwest, collaborate with such community that has land, so that if those lands are being acquired, they can now make those areas as centers, so that I can bring in my and they make everything conducive for those farmers. What are those things? Opening of all those roads, making boreholes there, provisions of solar lights, opening the road, making provisions of the machines, those that can be affordable. Everybody cannot have every machine. If it is my turn, I will take it down there, put my trademark there, then produce my goods, then go away with it. Same thing with the fish. If it's going to be under aquaculture, there are some smoking kin, which is not necessarily I should have it. I can easily take it to that site, process it, package it, put my trademark, and go away. So all those things will make it more attractive, even for our young ones. Most of our children, they are not willing to go into agriculture. Why? Because it's not conducive. They think it as the job of an old person, and this is a job you will do that you don't retire there. You don't retire in the agri. So government should make a provisions of acquiring land and make that area like a cottage industries for every farmers in the sector. Let there be aquaculture in one side, the crops section in one side, those that were in the processing in one side. So we will all be bringing our produce to that area. It will ease food insufficient, because I don't need now to think of how I'm going to buy machine. Hence those machines are there. So those are the things I think government can do, and to make food more sufficient. AFAN, we always have youth. Most of the programs even the government are doing, you always see women program, youth program, which we too have even indulged. So most of our youth now, they are in cluster groups, and we always embrace them, appeal to them to key into many of the value chains. But we lost them recently. What happened during the last COVID? Many of our youth go into the social media, making adverts of what their parents are now selling, and they now sell it on the e-line, and we are very, very happy about that, because not most of the parents are used to all this social media. Some will not even press phone; they don't even know how to press it. But their kids will now take all those chicks from them. If they are selling egg or so, they put the adverts there. So our youth are doing well now, and we are even recommending them for capacity building abroad. There's a program called YALI, Youth Alliance Program, abroad. We have assisted some of our youth. Recently, U.S. Embassy organized youth program. We have to tell our farmers, hence I've told you that we are an advocacy. They were all there, and they did well. So our youths today, especially in the AFAN, they are doing well, and we still encourage all the parents in AFAN to bring in their kids, their children, to know what they were doing in the farm. Especially they can make much of advert of their produce. For the insecurity, I think I've mentioned that earlier, but we are still trying a lot because we can't do it alone. In the area of hunters in some communities or in our association, they are part of us. And hunters, as I can say, they know every corner of every village. So as an AFAN, we have engaged them. Every hunter in AFAN have to be a security person to the farms in their domain. And we are very happy about that. And it was one of the things that formed Amotekun, of which we went for the inauguration in Oyo State. I was there. And who are those people there? They are the hunters. And who are hunters? They are farmers. So we are being recognized, and people like us were being agreed to even speak. And we now spoke on behalf of the farmers, which are our hunters. So hunters, they know what they could do, but we still want government to give them license to the gun or so, because by the time a thief or all these kidnappers have been apprehended, then we now handed them over to the police. That ends our own. But where we have to face them, and they are having more sophisticated weapon than our hunters, you know what it means. So we want government to assist our hunters in this area. That let there be provisions for them to get license for their gun, so that they can protect our farmers. Thank God, most of us in the south, we are not paying any money to any bandit to go to farm. We will face them. But how about other states, other regions? So we are doing a lot to make sure that the security is okay in the southwest as a whole.